I'm with Tim Lawson at the SAS factory. We've just had a lovely factory tour, Tim. I assume things are a lot different from when you first started off back at the house?
Well, they're certainly a lot bigger and a lot more people. And I guess we probably, as you've seen, we have to rely a lot on procedures and processes. In the very beginning, everything was kind of made by my mother, who was an Atomic Energy Authority trained chemist. So everything was done very, very precisely, and you could absolutely rely on it because it was mum. Whereas now we've got a big team, but as you've seen, just as committed to doing things properly and doing things right.
I mean, we had a great tour of the factory, and I mean, one of the things, well, we all had to get suited up, put special shoes on and hats, and obviously clean our hands. I mean, that's something that's taken very seriously here. I mean, the process of contamination, obviously, with a sports product. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I think we were involved in trying to make the best products we possibly could right from the very beginning. And right from the very beginning, we've always been involved with Olympic athletes. So the whole idea of making sure there's nothing in there that shouldn't be in there goes right to the heart of the business, and something we've been involved in doing that before all the nandrolone in food kind of scares. So we've set up procedures to make sure there's nothing in our products that we don't want to be in right from day one.
I mean, obviously looking around some of the machinery, it's pretty serious in there, and we saw the new gel machine, which you were very, very proud of and very protective of. I mean, you can just chat through the viewers about how that works. And
oh, it's great here that we can take gels from raw ingredients right the way through to being packed off. And I guess it's a shame that line wasn't running today, because it really is quite spectacular to see those gels coming off 6 at a time, cha-chunk, cha-chunk, cha-chunk. And you know, I we're very, very proud of that. That is something that the gels, I guess it was maybe 10 years we've been doing the gels, and the company's already quite well established there. The bigger changes you would probably have seen in the manufacturing of the gold bars. In the very beginning, we used to have a measured amount of bar that was deposited into a tray, and we'd have to hand roll the bar into this tray, and then cut the mixture up into the right size bars. You end up with big grooves in your hands, despite all the gloves and everything you were wearing. So if you could compare and contrast the beginning with what we're at now, then you would see a really big difference. I think my mother still has the rolling pin, the great big stainless steel rolling pin that we used to roll the gold bars with.
I mean, obviously you've been around sport for a long time, you've been around nutrition for a long time. I mean, how things have changed? I mean, the product line you have now is quite extensive, and not only nutrition for exercise, but post-exercise is quite a big market now.
Oh yeah, I think when we first started, especially in sports like football, you know, it was hard enough trying to convince people that they need to take an energy drink at half time, never mind a special drink for recovery. And with Rego, we really kind of pioneered the idea of a recovery drink for endurance athletes. And now it's good to see that there's more and more choices and more people recognising the importance of your post-exercise nutrition, especially when you look at trying to take things that little bit further. So you're not just looking at today's performance, but you're looking at how you progress over time. And I think that's a trend that we're seeing in sports nutrition now in general, is people seeing that you might have different strategies for adaptation and different strategies than you would for optimal performance in racing. In the beginning of sports science, everything was sort of acute. What do you do today to improve your performance? And for sure we can make a big difference to today's race by doing things right just before and during. But the big gains to be had in sports nutrition are thinking about what you eat relative to the training that you're doing and how you apply, and doing this week in, week out.
And looking ahead to 2013, which we're closely getting to, I mean, what would people look out for the SAS range? What's new, and what would you say?
I think people should look out to how we're developing the nitrate gels. I think there's quite a lot of science, quite a lot of excitement on what's this doing, and the strategies around how to use them and how to get the most out of them. Because not many things that are legitimate that can offer an immediate personal best or an immediate performance improvement without doing anything other than taking a couple of gels a couple of days prior to your next performance. That's really interesting, and we've got some quite a lot of new data coming about hydration. So I think the importance of hydration and when, and trying to put this into context, notwithstanding that it is possible to overhydrate, and the hyponatremia story has got a lot of press recently. When you actually take this back to the everyday day-to-day life of people that are training, that you probably find that chronic dehydration is more of a problem, if less dramatic, in that hyponatremia is very, very rare, but people do die of it, whereas chronic underhydration is probably very prevalent, and people are maybe just chronically underperforming.
That's great. And talking of next year, I mean, and you're obviously heavily involved in the actual athletes as well in the sport. I mean, your plans for getting involved with athletes next year? Can you name any of the athletes you're working with?
I think we're keen to build on the success we had with GB rowing. When you look at how they improved over the previous Olympics, and the World Championships, over our relationship with those guys, we're really keen to develop that relationship, and we've got quite a lot of product developments with those guys building forward, as well as working with a lot of the cycling teams. We're continuing with our relationship with the Pro Tour cycling teams. And what can we say about triathlete? Can we talk about our triathlete yet?
Not specifically.
No, okay. We'll hopefully we'll be naming some cooperations that we're working with some of the top triathletes, shall we say?
Well, that's a great place to leave it. Give the viewers wanting to know more. So thanks very much for your time. We look forward to seeing great things from SIS.
Thank you.